All right. Well, welcome to today's episode of the Empower Moms Coffee Break. We are so excited to have you guys here with us today. I'm coming to you from my junky office in my house today. And some of the ladies are outside. We're just having a good time before we hopped on, and we have a great show prepared for you all today. So I'm going to let the ladies introduce themselves, and I forgot to tell them what order they're in. So the Golden State Mama goes first, and then that girl down in Hotlanta. I'm Monet, coming to you, the mama straight from the hill in Washington, D.C., and ladies, take it away.
Hey y'all, this is Apple Daniels coming to you from the Golden State of California. I'm the Golden State Mama, and it's kind of weird today. I know I kind of give you guys a weather update. It's like sunny but windy. Got a little allergy thing going on, but it's all good.
Hey y'all, it's Shanta Flowers coming to you from Atlanta, Georgia, and I am outside and it is definitely hot. I'm baking like the back of my arms like they've been barbecued. It's flies and gnats, and I'm gonna be doing this the whole show, but it's all good. I came. I'm here. It's exciting.
Awesome. And Shanta is on the live fire, ready to take your questions, comments, and concerns, and all of your lovely comments for today. So make sure you're not too quiet out there today, because we want you to chime in on this conversation.
Absolutely.
You'll see why in a minute. But before we get into our topic for today, we have a very special hot topic, and I'm going to go ahead and share a video real quick with you all here in a sec. Alrighty. Yeah, that's the topic for today. That wasn't supposed to be up. All right, here we go.
Maya Angelou arrived into the company of presidents after an improbable journey and gave everyone, poetry to live by.
We listen carefully as it gathers strength. We hear a sweetness, a word.
She punctuated her poetry with a plea of hope,
Rising high, high above me.
a constant call to rise up from the misery.
Leaving behind nights of terror and fear, I rise into a daybreak miraculously clear. I rise.
That is what she did to become an author, poet, actress, songwriter, dancer, and historian. She was the winner of 3 Grammy Awards and a director and producer of movies.
God.
She rose up from a humble childhood in Stamps, Arkansas, and when she was 8, she was raped by her mother's boyfriend.
From the time I was 8 until I was almost 13, I didn't speak.
Shortly after Angelou identified her rapist, the man was murdered. Angelou blamed herself and stopped talking.
But my grandmother, she'd say, Sister, Mama don't care what these people say about you being an idiot or you being a moron. Mama don't care. Mama know when you and the good Lord get ready, Sister, you're going to be a preacher. So I used to sit there and think, poor ignorant Mama. I'll never speak. What is she talking about, preach?
When she was ready to speak, she went on to master 5 foreign languages and live in Africa, where she met Malcolm X. His influence positioned her as a prominent voice in civil rights during the 1960s.
I don't know how people see their world. Whites can see a world with no blacks. Blacks can see a world with no whites. That's very rare, if at all. Asians can see a world with no Latinos. Or fat people see a world with no thin and fat. I won't live in that world. A free bird leaps on the back of the wind.
Angelou's most acclaimed work, I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings, is her story to age 17, the age that she quit high school to support her son as a single mother.
The caged bird sings with a fearful trill of things unknown but longed for still, and his tune is heard on the distant hill, for the caged bird sings of freedom.
Possibly her crowning moment came when she was asked to write a poem for the 1993 presidential inauguration.
Come, you may stand upon my back and face your distant destiny.
Yet, it was her passion for teaching that she prized.
Right, copiously.
As a longtime professor at Wake Forest University, she gave voice to a new generation.
If I had taught Before I had written books, I might never have written a book. I love to teach. I am a teacher.
She was a teacher who always remained an example of hope.
I am the hope and the dream of the slave and soul. There I go.
Wow.
All right. Well, if you don't already know, our hot topic for today, we wanted to do a special tribute to Maya Angelou. If you didn't already know that she passed away, and hearts are heavy to lose such a precious gem. In American culture and world culture, she's just impacted so many people's lives through her writings and her speaking and just so many ways she's impacted so many. So, ladies, I don't know. I know both of you would probably like to share something personally that you've experienced, but go ahead and take it away.
She's just amazing. Just even you playing that clip just shows how much of an impact she has, because when she speaks, people listen. And I couldn't even see any movement on the screen. And it's just her voice. It's the sincerity in her voice that makes you cause for pause. And I got to see her 2 months ago, a little over 2 months ago, March 1st, here in Atlanta. She came and I was invited to a special luncheon. And she's just amazing. She was an amazing woman. And one of the things that she taught me long time ago that I learned from a show that she did with Oprah, and it's so funny because it's Oprah's favorite quote too, and she said, when you get, give, and when you learn, teach. And that has just always super impacted me. That little small thing, it was the signature in my email forever, because it's such a simple thing to live by. And that's what Maya did. She took complex situations and race relations and gender things, and she was able to just take them and make you pause for pause and just really understand the essence of what was said. And like her last tweet the other day, basically, like right before she died, was basically something about when you are listening to yourself or in your quiet time, that is when you hear God speak. It's like the stuff that just makes you go, that's right. And that's just who she was. So I'm gonna let Apple take it away, but she was just amazing. It's so many things, and so many things she said. Like one more thing, she said something about when she was talking about haters, and she was saying, when the grass is greener on the other side, you better believe that the water bill is higher over there too. And I was like, ain't that the truth? You know what I'm saying? Like, it might be green, but what the people have to do to keep it that way? Are you ready to do that? It's just how she simplified things for me is what did it for me. So yes, I am very sad to see her go, but very ecstatic that she has so many works that are out here that she'll be able to live, and we'll be able to tell our children, our children's children. So Maya's not going anywhere.
Yeah, I totally agree. When I heard the news yesterday, I just remember feeling like, wow, like what a tremendous loss to the world, but then again, what an extraordinary, amazing legacy to leave. To leave. When you think about all of her contributions, her works, her poetry, just her speaking, the little things that she did, the tweets, and just the words of wisdom that she left us, like Shanta was saying, we'll never really be without her. When you think about, Phenomenal Woman, and for me personally, Still I Rise, which is my favorite. When you think about, especially if I can go there, like as a Black woman and all of the things that we faced, we always had just that, you could read Still I Rise and feel better about, like, okay, you know what, it's all good, because no matter what they say, no matter what they do, no matter what, takes place, I'm going to rise. Like the dust, I will rise, And so when you just think about her, just all the things that she brought, man, I feel blessed that, I lived during her lifetime, and she's not somebody that I will read about in history books. Like I actually got to maybe not physically see her like in person, but from the TV or through her literature, I got to experience that live. And like Sean said, now we just pass that on to our children.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm really grateful that I was able to play that quote that clip, because I actually didn't know that she had been raped as a child. And it's so interesting to see people come from a lot of successful, very powerful, influential people come from very humble beginnings, very tragic stories, very tragic situations, and be able to impact the world in such a positive way. Time and time again, we see those types of things, and I just wasn't even aware, and it is very fitting, to know that about her now, because something I actually heard since hearing the news that she had passed, a radio DJ shared one of her quotes, and I don't want to butcher it, but it goes something along the lines of, "You can't control the situations that happen in your life, but you can choose to not allow them to reduce you." And when I heard that, I was like, wow, like that is so true, and so such a powerful statement. Like Shanta was saying before, so simple but such a powerful statement. And it just, like I said, it just speaks volumes of how she took tragedy and hardship and obstacles in her life and turned it around for so much good. So
it's funny. One of my favorite quotes by her that's real simple, and usually when I say it, I'm kind of being smart or whatever. But I love her quote when she says, "When people show you who they are, believe them." And when you think about it, it's so true. I mean, for the good and for the bad. A lot of times, we'll say that, and it's like, oh, well, because somebody did you wrong. But when you think about it, even for the positive aspect, people will show you exactly who they are. And it's up to you whether you believe that or not, But again, just those little things that she would say. And then going back to, I didn't know that she was raped at such a young age either. But then when I think about her relationship with Oprah, aside from them just being powerful women, it makes perfect sense why she was a mother figure and a mentor to Oprah coming up, because that's a huge part of her story as well. So.
She told us that story, and what they alluded to it a little bit on there, but not only was she raped, but she was a mute. She was a mute for several years, I think like 7. She was a mute. She didn't speak at all. So to go from not speaking at all, and from people thinking that back then they did call you words like idiot and moron, that's politically incorrect today, but those are the things that they called her then. And to go from someone who didn't speak at all to someone who speaks to presidents, you know what I mean, to world leaders, to people of country, Yes, yeah, it'll make you cry, right? It'll make you cry. So you better keep believing in him, and you better do like her grandmother did and speak into him, and speak into him, and speak into him, because that you never know what can happen to that, or what he could write, or what he could do. So her story in itself, and the way she lived her life, because at the end of the day, don't get it twisted, Maya Angelou was a very rich woman,
Right.
but you don't even think about the money. And
Never.
that is the thing that I want to be in my life, to where you want to leave an impact. She left an impact. She was broke by nobody's means. You know what I'm saying? But she left an impact, and everything that came out of her mouth, it was like dripping with you just wanted to sit there like a sponge and just catch it. Yeah, you just wanted to just catch it when she when she opened her mouth. And she was able to do those things just by what was here. It wasn't that Maya dressed provocatively or that she was anything like that. Those are never the things that you think about. You only thought about the wisdom that came out of her mouth and what she wrote with her pen. And somebody that did that without the gimmicks. There was no gimmicks. There was no hair blowing in the wind. There was no, none of that. Just pure.
No Gone with the Wind, fabulous.
No Gone with the Wind, no twirl, none of that. It was just straight up. It was amazing. I mean, it was not being in the tabloids for being drunk. All the things that people do now for exposure.
Right.
She was the epitome of showing that you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. And she always spoke to that. So anyway, I know we could go on that forever about Miss Maya, honey. She deserves her own week of Empowered Moms. But whatever little we could give to her, we'd like to give it. So hats off to you, Miss Maya.
Yes, and obviously there are many people, including I'm sure her family, and like you all were alluding to, Oprah, who was her mentee. Our thoughts and prayers are with you all as you go through this process of this loss. But like we also said, she left so many rich blessings behind. So you will have plenty of wonderful memories to have of her.
Absolutely.
So with that, I'm glad, Shanta, that you said, you keep speaking into children and don't give up on them, because that is a great segue into today's topic, Potty training 101. Now, thank you for that advice because I am literally ready to give up on my son with this potty training business. He's driving me crazy. Ladies, sound off on the potty training.
I'm gonna let Apple go.
Let me just say this. I've been changing diapers and pull-ups. It's okay. Let me start this way. So I've been changing diapers and pull-ups for 6 years now, because the twins are 6, they'll be 7. So it's a total of 7 years straight now of diapers and pull-ups and wipes. And I calculated with my sister last week that at minimum I've spent about $16,000 with Huggies on diapers alone in the last 7 years. I'm not even talking about wipes. I just calculated, okay, look, if we get a pack of diapers, it's about $23. We're going through about a pack a week. You know what I'm saying? Times that times 52 weeks, times that by 7 years. It was like almost $17,000 in diapers and wipes, or in diapers alone, over the last 7 years. And like I said, that doesn't even include wipes. So I've probably given Huggies a good $25,000 because we go through more wipes than we do diapers, obviously. That being said, I was feeling kind of like you, Monet. Like right now, I'm ready for my 3-year-old to be. I'm kind of just ready for everybody to be potty trained. I'm ready for everybody to be independent in that aspect. I hopped online, and there's another marketer who's also a mom, and you know she's very well known, and she has 6 girls, right? And her girls range. I think her oldest is in college, and her youngest is probably not 3, but maybe around like 6 or something like that. Anyways, she made a post today because her and her husband are on a trip to Mexico with the company that they're in, and she said, I've been changing diapers for 15 years. 15 years. She has 6 girls ranging from age 18 all the way down to about 5, 6-ish, something like that. 15 years of diapers and pull-ups and wipes. And she said, me and my husband couldn't go anywhere. We couldn't do anything. And finally, we get to be out. And it was basically like, you know, a post of encouragement to other moms, like, you know, just hold on. Your time is coming. Then my little 7 years didn't seem so bad, but 15 years, I want to pass out. I want to pass out.
Well, you know, it's funny because, you know, I keep hearing all this stuff, and you ladies can let me know what you hear from other moms and stuff, but I hear all this stuff about boys are harder to potty train than girls and all this other stuff. And then Shanta, you know, when we were talking, she said her son was potty trained at the same age my daughter was potty trained. So I don't know that that's true. So I just don't know. It's like very frustrating because I'm like trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. Oh, maybe boys are different than girls, so maybe this is why it's a little bit more challenging. But my daughter, when we potty trained her, she was in pull-ups at 17 months because I was determined to potty train her as early as possible. And she was doing really well, and then she kind of went backwards, and she started having accidents on herself again. And so I was like, okay. So I didn't know what to do then, so I was talking to other parents when that happened, and they were like, hey, you know, just let her do her, and eventually when she's ready, it'll be time. And this one mom, literally, I think it was like 2 weeks to the day that my daughter was finally potty trained, told me her kid one day woke up and said, hey, I'm not a baby anymore, took off the pull-up, and they were done with it. You will not believe that 2 weeks later, to the day almost, she stood at the top of my steps, said, Mommy, diapers are for babies, took it off, and we were done. So I was like, is this really my world? Is this really happening? So that was like a couple weeks before her 3rd birthday. So she was, you know, little over 2. So now I'm here with this guy who just turned 3, who I sat on the toilet yesterday, and he was like, I don't want to, and just cried and cried and cried until he got off.
That's kind of, see, I can't comment on the girls versus, you know, the girls being easier than boys because I have all boys. But I know that, like, okay, with the twins, Isaiah got it, I'm not going to say right away, but he got it fairly quickly. Like, it really didn't take him that long. Isaiah's the kind of kid that you're like, no, you're going to go potty in the pot, or no, you're going to go do this, and he's a little bit scary, so he's going to go ahead and do it because he doesn't want to get in trouble. Well, he didn't. Like, this new Isaiah, this whole kindergarten going into first grade, I don't know what dude's going through. But prior to that, he was kind of the one that he doesn't want to get in trouble. So if you say, no, you're going to do this, then he kind of got it quickly. With Aiden, it took a little bit longer, but we had some other challenges with him just because, of the autism, the nonverbal thing was going on, and we're trying to get him situated. So we didn't really sweat that one as hard. Even now, like, he's potty trained, but he seems to be having accidents at night now, and I don't really know what that's about. We've tried not giving him as much juice, waking him up, making him go potty, telling him just get up and go. So I don't know what's going on with him. He's just kind of going through his own thing right now. But this young one, like this 3-year-old I got, he does not want to do it. He's like your son, Monet. He's like, I don't want to go potty. He fights you. He argues. He stomps. Today, I tried to sit him on the pot, and he was closing his legs so I couldn't get his pull-up off. Like, I had to really, pull his legs apart. Like, boy, you going to take this pull-up off and sit on this pot. And I don't really know what, I've tried to tell him, like, well, if you don't potty, you can't go to preschool. Or if you don't, my husband has this thing now where he tells him, well, just make water in the pot. So now that's a cute little thing. Like, let's go make water, But I don't know. He just doesn't want to. Like, he has no type of, I don't know what it is.
I gotta show y'all this. So I'm gonna screen share. This is something that I posted. Let's see. How do you do? My desktop, right? That I posted in April of last year. Can y'all see that? And this was Chance. We had put the potty in the kitchen, honey, because we just had to do something. But that was Chance in April of 2013. Now, very shortly after, he was potty trained. Let me tell you this about my son. He is stubborn. He didn't want to when he didn't want to. And literally, the reason I don't have a whole lot of tips is because when he decided to, he did. And that's how he has done everything in his life, crawling, walking. When he wants to, he does. And he literally just kind of did. And we did pups for a week. And then he was in a mommy's day out program. And I said, well, number one, kind of like Apple, I'm not spending all this money. So my first tip is, ladies with the diapers, if you're going to have more kids, because I can't do anything about the kids that you got, ask for diapers. I had a diaper baby shower. We didn't buy diapers the first 7 months of his life. Not one. Ever. Yep. Not one. It was so helpful. So anyway, that's a quick tip for the next kids.
Can I chime in on that tip? Because
sure.
Actually, the incentive to get people to bring the diapers to the party is to have a raffle associated with it. So let them know on the invitation, if for every package of diapers that you get a raffle ticket for special prizes. That's what I did, and I had a closet full of diapers.
See, she's exciting because that's Monet. She does these wonderful things. But I had like 3 of them. So one of them, I particularly, it was like nothing else. Just bring me diapers. I don't want no clothes. I don't need no burpees. I don't need no shirts. I don't need nothing. Just bring me diapers. Because you're going to get that stuff. People are going to give it to you anyway. So just bring the diapers. But anyway, so we got rid of the pull-ups completely, and I just sent him to school with underwear. Well, now my son, I don't know about you guys. I don't know if you tried it, but he didn't like to be wet. That he didn't like. He was like, whoa, I'm not going to be wet, son. What comes out of here needs to go in the toilet, okay? It needs to go in the potty. So we kept trying. Now, they have things I want to bring up, right? But we did. Some of it worked. One, bribery. I heard you said that, the bribery. I know a lot of people feel like, well, that's something you should do anyway, but honey, try it. Sometimes desperate measures. Try bribery. What do they really love? What do they really like? Bribe them with it. Number one. Number two, if they're boys, target practice with the Cheerios and make it fun. Make it a game. If you have a fun, loving child, you make it a game, and you put Cheerios in the toilet, and try. It's fun. This is how you shoot them, right? And so, yeah.
Do they tell you to do it? Wait a minute.
No, seriously. Try it.
So now you're telling me that my kid is going to be throwing Cheerios in the toilet and
yes.
Oh my God.
Yes. Yes. And
he's going to think that that's a freaking game for real.
Yes, it's a game, and you do it, and then you give them like a cookie or a sucker. I know it's hard, but I'm a fitness coach. You got to do it. It works. He like if you have a child that likes praise, I have a child that loves the he loves it. So we would do the praise, we did with the target practice, we did the bribery, and another thing, that's why you see him naked, is I don't know if y'all have heard of like the 3-day method, where you have to find 3 days in your schedule though that you don't have much to do. You kind of keep your kid naked. You just kind of keep them naked for 3 days, and you just go like every 10-15 minutes. Hey, go put them, go put them, and that did help. That helped a lot. We didn't do a whole 3 days. I think we did like 2, and he was just basically either completely naked or no bottoms, and you just walked around the house like that. And so it was just like, and we didn't go anywhere, so that you could kind of on schedule start to learn and feel. But when he started to do it, he just did it. He was so proud of himself. And we taught him with the target thing, but he still couldn't get that well, so he still eventually sat down first. Now he stands up with no problem. We did daddy does it. So again, I don't have a girl, but with the boy, it was just like, go in there with daddy. I would send him in there with his father. You take him in there when you go do it in the morning and watch, like whatever, And so he did. And one day he's like, move over, Dad. And they were both sitting there. I wish I could have like showed it, but it'd have been porn. And they were both like doing it in the toilet. It was the cutest thing. So it's like monkey see, monkey do. But try some of those. A lot of times, like I said, we don't want, especially this modern age, and I know how it is, and we don't want to give our kids this, and we don't want to do that. Bribe them children. Get some candy and cakes and cookies and things, and throw stuff in the toilet, and do prizes. Because right now, y'all are trying to get these kids in school, and that's what's important. We will fix the cookie problem later. Right now, you just need to get them in school. Don't worry about the Cheerios. They're specifically for the toilet. Because once they get it, he didn't care about that anymore. Like, it didn't matter. But at first, you had to make it fun. And that's what we were able to do. So those are just some stuff that I got,
Okay, so I want to ask you, ladies, what do you think about this? And I'm about to share my screen. And you tell me what you think, if this will be fun and work. Because I've seen a lot of these out there. This nice chart that they get to put little stickers on when they pull their pants. I pulled my pants down myself. You get a sticker. I sat on the potty for a little while. I went on the potty. Let's see. When I'm done, I flush for fun. And then wash my hands when I'm done. So anytime they do one of these items, they get a little sticker on the chart. This particular one is Thomas the Train. That's why I looked that one up, because my son loves Thomas. He loves trains. He has a big train set. But there's all kinds of different ones with different characters.
They have Power Rangers. Because right now with my little one, he's kind of into whatever his brothers are into. Like when they got into Ninja Turtles, he was all about Ninja Turtles. Now they're into Power Rangers. He's all about Power Rangers. So, and then I've even tried having his brothers tell him, like, good job, Isaac, or, go ahead and go potty, or that kind of thing. So, I don't know. But
what? But it's about the trying. It's the consistency. It's just like what we have learned and what we know about in business and weight loss and anything else. You can't do it for like a day or 2 days or even a week and be like, well, I tried that. Well, not really. You know what I mean? You have to kind of keep going. It is true consistency. And this is one of the things to me was a bonding experience. Potty training was a bonding experience for me, because I learned a long time ago, but I've always really been trying to be in tune to who my child is. And I know that my child is a words of affirmation child. And so he loves praise. So it's like, bring on the praise. Like, we go 8 nuts about him doing things. Like 8 nuts, because that helps him. And so you have to figure out, like when you said your child,
so we do like the potty dance. Like if he makes water in the pot, or if he goes, poopy in the pot or whatever, then we do the potty dance. Because I got musical kids and they love music, but they also love praise. You know what I'm saying? So we got a little dance that we do. My husband has his version of the potty dance. I have my version of the potty dance. We just kind of act silly when he goes potty. But my child is also stubborn. He's very, very, very. Isaac is like me times 10. Like when they say, like, oh, I hope you get a child that's just like you. Yeah, I got one. But
then, you know what? They're small.
No, seriously, our birthdays are 4 days apart. So
same thing. If you get it's a little character. I don't know if you guys let your kids watch it, called Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood. If you don't, he's amazing. He kind of like PBS. It came from like Mr. Rogers. but it's a
Okay.
cartoon. And he has like a little song, and my son learned it. And he has a whole episode. So just look it up. I'm sure you can find it on YouTube on pottying. And he's a little cartoon character, and him and his little friends, they all potty. And the song is, if you have to go potty, stop, go right away. Flush and wash and be on your way. It was very simple. And I sang it over and over and over and over again. And so like my son, and we even still sing it now because he doesn't really have any issues. I can count on one hand how many times he has made a mistake, and it's usually at night in the bed, because he just either wouldn't get up or something like that. It's not like a problem. He just sometimes just won't, or if he drinks too late, we've had an issue. Because his thing is always, I want to play so much. That's a lot of kids. I want to do so much that I don't want to stop to go use the potty. And it's like we're always trying to do that. So those reinforcements, what Monet's showing, finding the song, again, I'll repeat, is Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood, and it's it's a potty episode, I guess is the name of it. And just trying different things and adding on things so you find out what is going to work for you. Ultimately, it's always going to be the child. It's not going to be you at all. Ultimately, it's going to be them when they feel like it. But find the things that will help push them just a little bit. But sometimes you have to also, I think as well, when you make it such a big deal that you seem frustrated, they seem to like to frustrate us. My son does. He seems to like to frustrate me. So it's like when I make things a big deal.
That's that attention because they seem to get more attention when you're frustrated than when you're not. When you're not frustrated, it's like, oh, they're doing their own thing.
Yeah, when you kind of pull back, that's when he was like, look, mommy, I got to go potty. It's like, okay. But when we're acting like, oh, my God, why don't you get it? That's funny to them. On the inside, they're laughing. Like, look at this fool. You know what I'm saying? So he's just got to.
Like, mine is never like really, oh, my God, why don't you get it? Mine is, no, you finna sit on this pot and go potty. I don't care what you're going through. I don't care what you don't want to do. I don't care.
How often are y'all sitting them on the potty? Because I've heard things like between every 15 to every 20 minutes that some people do.
I'm not doing it that much. I would probably say like every hour. Now I'll admit there are some times where I might let some time go by just because I'll mess around and get busy doing some other stuff. But I know that even at daycare, she's doing it every time he eats, so like right before he eats, or like right after he eats, or has something to drink, then he's going. I know lately he's kind of been, during his nap time, she said going through his clothes, but she said that's because she's been keeping him real hydrated. She was like, I would rather him have an accident than be dehydrated. She's older. I don't argue with her. She's like their grandmother. So I don't, yes ma'am, whatever you want to do. Long as he's ready by September, we good.
Well, I
think over the summertime we'll have we'll be able to really dedicate.
I didn't see a Power Rangers one, Apple, but I did find a Cars one.
Oh, that's cute.
So if he's into cars, that might work. I know that also, I'm always an advocate for knowing yourself and knowing how much you can handle. And I have been told, and I know that I know someone who did this personally, that if sending them, like you were saying, to daycare or some type of program where they are going to take the time to sit them down every 30 minutes, every 20 minutes or so, and you're just too busy to stay on top of it, it's just better off to do it that way than to frustrate yourself and your kid. So, that is always an option, too, is to just have, people who...
That helped me out a lot.
Yeah.
My son was in a mommy's day out program, so it's like we worked together. So it's not like when he left me, nobody was. It's like they were an extension. We were an extension of each other. But we do. I am on the live fire, and my cousin is on the live fire. Her name is Satara. So would you guys say hi to Satara?
Hey.
What's up, girl?
And she was asking. She has a little boy, and his name is Keanu. We call him Turtle, but he's so cute. And she said, how did you know when your child was ready to potty train? So what about you ladies? What made you decide, okay, now's the time?
I went by when they started taking off their clothes. Like some kids.
You got a nudist. She was a nudist. She got a nudist.
Yeah, I can't remember which one of the twins was, but I remember like you start pulling down your pants or whatever. And then I think also like your kids will let you know, like I knew for Isaac, like even though he's giving me a hard time actually sitting on the pot, I knew it was time when he started telling me, Mommy, I need a diaper change. Hold on, bruh. Nah.
Yes.
What you mean you need a diaper change? Like, if you can come to me and tell me, Mommy, I need a diaper change, that means you're aware of the fact that you went potty on yourself. So now we need to start teaching you how to know when it's about to come so you can go sit on the pot. The other thing Isaac starts doing now is he runs around in circles. So even though he'll fight me, when he has to go poop, he'll start running around in circles. He'll run from my room to the living room, my room to the living room. He's running around in circles. He's like, Mommy, Mommy, like he's losing his mind because he knows not to go poop in his pull-up. But he's like, I don't want to tell her, but oh my God. It's actually kind of funny.
I'll say that I think it all depends. It depends on your child. It depends on you. I was the same way with how Apple was, because my go get his diaper and his wipes and bring it to you. It's like, oh no, sir. You can, if you're that smart, you can go sit down. Right. However, if you want to kind of put an age limit on it to try a roundabout, I would say anywhere between 2.5 and on, when they start to approach 3. And the reason that I say that is because at that point, that is when programs and things start requiring, if you want your child to be able to go, that they're potty trained. Like if you want to go to like a gymnastics has a parents' night out, or a center or something, and they're requiring and the kid can be 3 but potty trained. So to me, that was like a light bulb moment. Like, oh God, he's about to be 3. So when he wasn't 3 and he couldn't do any of those things, it kind of didn't matter. But when he started to approach 3, and it's like, oh, he can go do this and he can go do that. Oh no, he can't, because he's not potty trained. So then it was just like, for me, that was you got to get this going, because if you want to participate in these things, you have to be able to be potty trained. So that's for me when it was kind of like. So I would say when you're approaching that 3-year-old.
I totally agree with that age, though, because I mean that's preschool age too, if you think about it. Like I was saying to you guys before we started the show, like we didn't send Isaac to preschool right when he turned 3, because I just didn't feel like he was ready. But now he's 3, he's turning 4, and he might not make the birthday cutoff, so he might end up being a older preschool kid anyway. But now that we're approaching that, where he can start doing some of that stuff with his brothers, going to school, doing different things. Yeah, it's more of an issue now. But I knew, like I said, when he started telling me he has to go potty, or telling me he needed a diaper change and running around the house like he crazy. So.
Now, I think for me, I would have to say that age is too late, because I feel from this experience that I've had with my son versus the experience that I have with my daughter, I was on top of getting her potty trained a heck of a lot sooner than him, and I feel like he became more aware of it because he's older, and so now he's got an opinion about it. As where she was 17 months when I first started putting a pull-up on her, and I feel like because I got her into thinking, okay, this is what we're gonna do, at a younger age, she didn't really have the wherewithal, I guess, to be able to protest at that age. So I will say the reason that I even went to attempt to get her potty trained that early at 17 months was because I had a church member who did some research about how the kids are potty trained in Europe and other countries, and she started actually potty training her infant, which I thought was excessive, but it helped because the kid was potty trained. She would literally hold the kid up after they would eat, and she would tell them to go to the bathroom. So she transferred that same thing when they were big enough to sit on the potty. She would sit them on the potty and tell them to go to the bathroom after they ate. So, I mean, I think that is a little bit too to the other side of the spectrum, but hey, it worked, and she didn't have to fight with somebody who had an opinion. So I think the earlier, the better. That's just my take on it.
Yeah, and then as like I said, you have to always read your child, because at the end of the day, they are humans. They're little humans, just like us, and they're going to do what they want to do. So no matter all of the prodding and pleading and begging and threatening and whatever that you do, you cannot make them do any of it. You can only encourage and recommend and suggest harshly. But
very, very harshly.
It's kind of
like kids are like mine.
That's kind of. It's kind of all you can do. But if you have like like you said, a stubborn child, or a child that's like, whatever, you're gonna try me, I'm gonna try you, then y'all in for it. So it just all depends. I think you just kind of gotta read. I agree with Monet a little earlier. But Emily, I'm sure, is very smart and probably at that point at 17 months probably could already tell you about her diaper. So that's always a big one for me. If you know what's happening, yes, let's go, because it will save you a lot of money. Now, my cousin, the one that's listening in, she cloth diapered her kids, so hats off to her, because I did not.
Woo!
I was disposable all the way, and I want more kids, and I would probably still be disposable, because just the thought of washing all them little turds just for me.
See, and that goes back to what I said earlier. I will take that $16,000 as opposed to have to wash out. So, because my stepmom cloth diapered with my sister, and me and my sister are 10 years apart. And I remember being a little girl and seeing her do that, and I was just appalled. I was like, really? Like, why? I'm confused. Like, who does? Why?
I know it leaves a better carbon footprint, but I'm sorry.
Well, more power to you, girl. You are good. I couldn't do it. That just, woo, yes. But anyway, ladies, I'm sorry to cut our conversation short. We are coming to the end of the show, and this has been fun. So what I'm taking away from this for my potty diaper challenges is that I need to make it fun.
Make it fun.
So thank you for that advice, and I know that it helped everybody out there who's watching. So make sure you tune in next week. We're going to be talking about school readiness and when is it too early or too late to start your kid in school. We're going to have a whole conversation about that, and that ties right in with this because you definitely have to make sure they're potty trained before they do that. So, so anyway, ladies, thank you for an awesome episode. Thank you all for tuning in, and we will see you next week. And remember, all week, always be a mommy inspired. Take care.
Bye.
Peace. Bye-bye.